Across the galaxy, the broadcast hit. On Vorin, Krell saw the images on a screen. Humans, building worlds, teaching others. His claws shook. No, he whispered. The other leaders gasped. On other planets, aliens watched, their faith in the Concord breaking. The Concord said they were the best, but the first kin were older, wiser. Some aliens cheered, others rioted. The truth was out. Back on Earth, the fight slowed. Varn's team was hurt, their confidence gone. Sujin stood tall, her shield glowing. Leave, she said. Varn glared, but Terra pulled him back. We can't win, she said. Varn spat, then signaled retreat. The ships rose, their lights fading. Sujin lowered her weapon, breathing hard. Tae-Su clapped her shoulder. You were amazing, he said. She smiled. We all were. Ji-Eun stepped out, the crystals light behind her. The broadcast worked, she said. The galaxy knows who we are. Donghyun checked his laptop. It's everywhere, he said. They can't ignore us now. Tae-Su looked at the sky. Will they come back, he asked. Ji-Eun nodded. Maybe. But we're ready. The archive hummed, its machines alive. Sujin gripped her weapon. Let them try, she said. The desert was quiet again, the stars bright. The chamber glowed, a piece of the past alive in the present. Ji-Eun's team stood together, stronger than before. They were humans, but now they knew they were the first kin, the ones who started it all. The galaxy was waking up, and Earth was at its heart. The night sky above Earth blazed with light. Alien ships, sharp and gleaming, filled the air, their engines humming like a storm. The galactic Concord was breaking apart. Some aliens, led by the angry Varinian Krell, wanted to crush Earth. Others, touched by the archive's broadcast, wanted peace. The broadcast had spread across the galaxy, showing humans as the first kin, the ones who seeded the stars. It sparked uprisings on alien worlds, shaking the Concord's power. But Krell didn't care. He sent a fleet to Earth, ready to burn it down. In the desert chamber, Ji-Eun stood by the glowing crystal. Its hum was strong, its light warm. The archive had given them weapons, shields, and machines, tools of the first kin. Ji-Eun's team worked fast, building new devices. Donghyun, quick with tech, wired the archive to human computers. We can make ships, he said, his eyes bright. Ji-Eun nodded. We need them. Tae-Su, strong and steady, carried heavy parts, while Sujin tested a sleek archive weapon. The world outside was changing. Nations joined together, sharing soldiers and scientists. Humanity was one, led by Ji-Eun and Donghyun. News of the alien fleet spread. People watched the sky, scared but hopeful. Ji-Eun spoke to leaders on a screen, her voice calm. We're the first kin, she said. We'll fight for our home. Donghyun showed them archive ships, small, fast, glowing with blue energy. Soldiers trained with archive weapons, their beams cutting stone. Sujin led the fighters, her face fierce. We'll outsmart them, she said. The crystal's broadcast kept going, telling the galaxy of humanity's past. It gave people strength. High above, Krell's fleet arrived. His ships were huge, their weapons bright. He stood on his command deck, claws sharp. Humans are weak, he growled. We end this now. His second, a Varinian named Varn, nodded. They can't match us, he said. But Tira, the winged alien, wasn't sure. She'd seen humans fight. The broadcast had reached her, too, showing humans as creators. What if they're more, she asked. Krell glared. They're nothing. He ordered the attack. On Earth, alarms rang. Ji-Eun's team climbed into archive ships, their hulls humming. Donghyun piloted one, his hands steady. Sujin led a squad, her ship fast. Tae-Su stayed in the chamber, guarding the crystal. Keep it safe, Ji-Eun told him. She flew with Donghyun, her ship glowing. The sky exploded as alien ships fired, beams lighting the night. Human ships darted, small but quick. Sujin spun her ship, dodging a blast. Hit their sides, she shouted. Her team fired archive beams, slicing alien armor. Krell's ships were strong, but slow. The battle was loud. Alien beams hit the desert, sand turning to glass. Human ships weaved, their shields sparking. Donghyun flew low, his ship grazing a Varinian cruiser. He fired, and the cruiser shook, smoke rising. Got one, he yelled. Jiyoon smiled, her ship diving. She used the archive's tricks, fake signals to confuse alien scanners. Krell's fleet fired at shadows, wasting power. Sujin led a charge, her squad hitting a big ship's engines. It crashed, shaking the ground. In the chamber, Tae-soo watched screens. The broadcast was spreading. On alien worlds, crowds gathered, watching human ships fight. Some aliens cheered, others fought their leaders. The Concorde's rule was cracking. Tae-soo saw a signal, friendly alien ships, led by a flyer named Lyra. We want peace, Lyra said. Tae-soo grinned. Help us, then. Lyra's ships joined the battle, firing on Krell's fleet. The tide turned. Krell roared, his ship shaking. Traitors, he shouted, seeing Lyra's ships. Varn fired at human ships, but they were too fast. Jiyoon's voice came through the radio. Krell, stop this. We're the first kin. Join us. Krell laughed, bitter. You're worms. He aimed his ship's main weapon, a beam to burn Earth. Donghyun saw it. Jiyoon, move, he yelled. He flew his ship straight at Krell's, firing everything. The beam missed, hitting empty desert. Krell's ship sparked, its systems failing. Sujin's squad hit hard, their beams cutting Krell's fleet. Alien ships fell, crashing into sand. Lyra's flyers helped, their wings glowing. The battle slowed, Krell's fleet broken. Varn grabbed Krell. We're done, he said. Krell pushed him away. Never. But his ship shook, alarms blaring. Terra spoke softly. They're the first kin. We were wrong. Krell didn't answer. He ordered retreat, his ships limping away. On Earth, cheers rose. Jiyoon landed her ship, her face tired but proud. Donghyun hugged her. We did it, he said. Sujin joined them, her weapon down. They didn't expect us, she said. Tae-soo ran from the chamber. The broadcast, it's everywhere, he said. Screens showed alien worlds, people rising against the Concorde. Some waved human flags, others sent messages of peace. Lyra landed, her wings folding. We want to learn from you, she said. Jiyoon nodded. We'll share. The desert was quiet, smoke rising from crashed ships. The crystal's light glowed, its broadcast still strong. Jiyoon looked at the sky, stars bright. Humanity had fought and won, not just for Earth, but for the galaxy. The Concorde was weak, its lies broken. Donghyun checked his laptop, seeing messages from aliens. They're calling us the first kin, he said. Sujin smiled. Good. Let them know who we are. The battle was over, but the work wasn't. Jiyoon knew more would come, some to fight, others to join. Humanity was ready. The archive hummed, its machines alive. Tae-soo stood by the crystal, his eyes calm. We're not alone anymore, he said. Jiyoon agreed. The galaxy was awake, and humans were its heart. The stars waited, and Earth stood tall. The desert sky was calm, the stars bright above Earth. Smoke rose from the wreckage of alien ships, their twisted metal scattered across the sand. The battle was over. Krell's fleet, the last of the Galactic Concorde's attackers, had fled or fallen. The Concorde itself was crumbling, its leaders losing power as alien worlds turned against them. The Archive's broadcast had spread far, showing humans as the first kin, the ones who seeded the galaxy. It changed everything. Earth, once a small, forgotten planet, was now the center of hope. In the underground chamber, Ji-un stood by the glowing crystal. Its hum was soft, its light steady. The archive had given humanity weapons, ships, and truth. Ji-un's team gathered around her, tired but proud. Dong-hyun checked his laptop, reading messages from alien worlds. They want peace, he said, his eyes wide. Sujin, her archive weapon at her side, nodded. Good. We're done fighting. Tae-soo smiled, his strong hands resting. We showed them, he said. Ji-un agreed, but she knew the work wasn't over. The galaxy needed guides, and humans were ready. A new leader stepped forward, a quiet man named Min-soo. He was a teacher, wise and kind, with a voice that made people listen. Ji-un trusted him. We'll talk to the aliens, Min-soo said. Not as enemies, but as friends. Ji-un nodded. Let's build something better. They left the chamber, the crystals light behind them. Outside, Earth was alive. Cities shared food and tools, soldiers helped rebuild, and scientists studied archive machines. Humanity was one, stronger than ever. Alien ships arrived, but not to fight. They carried leaders from many worlds. Winged flyers, scaled crawlers, glowing beings. Lyra, the winged alien who fought with humans, led them. She landed in the desert, her eyes bright. We want peace, she said. Ji-un and Min-soo met her, standing tall. We want that too, Ji-un said. Min-soo smiled. But it must be fair. The aliens agreed. They sat in a big tent, talking for days. Some aliens were nervous, others hopeful. The broadcast had shaken them, showing humans as the first kin. They couldn't ignore it. Min-soo spoke clearly. The Concord lied to you, he said. They said they were the best, but we're all equal. The first kin built the galaxy for everyone. Lyra nodded. We see that now, she said. A scaled alien, named Torv, spoke. Our people want to learn from you. Ji-un showed them archive data, plans for clean energy, fast ships, and healing machines. We'll share, she said. But you must help each other. The aliens promised. The Concord was gone, its power broken. A new alliance began, with Earth at its heart. Earth changed fast. The desert camp grew into a city, shining with human and alien buildings. Archive machines powered lights and farms. Ships from many worlds landed, bringing teachers, builders, and students. Ji-un walked through the city, her heart full. She saw humans and aliens working together, laughing and learning. Min-soo taught classes, showing aliens how humans survived with courage and ideas. We're not perfect, he said. But we try. The aliens listened, their eyes wide. They called Earth the hub, a place of unity. One evening, Ji-un stood on a hill, looking at the city's lights. Min-soo joined her. We did it, he said. She smiled. Not just us. Everyone. They saw Sujin training new pilots, human and alien, their ships dancing in the sky. Dong-hyun built machines, mixing archive tech with human ideas. Tae-soo helped farmers, his strong hands planting seeds. The galaxy was healing, and Earth led the way. Ji-un felt the crystals hum in her mind, like a voice saying they were on the right path. Far from the city, a young girl named Hyejin sat on a rock. She was 16, her dark hair tied back. Beside her was an alien named Scylla, a small flyer with glowing wings. They looked at the stars, their faces calm. Hyejin pointed. That's my favorite star, she said. Scylla tilted her head. Why? Hyejin smiled. It feels like home. Scylla's wings buzzed. Your world is my home now, she said. They laughed, their voices soft in the night. The stars seemed closer, like they were listening. Hyejin thought of the stories her parents told, how humans fought, how they learned they were the first kin. She felt proud. Scylla touched her hand. Will we explore the stars together? She asked. Hyejin nodded. Yes. Humans and aliens, side by side. They sat quietly, the desert breeze cool. The city glowed below, a sign of peace. The galaxy was big, but it felt smaller now, like a family. Ji-hoon and Min-soo kept working. They sent ships to help alien worlds, sharing archived knowledge. Some planets still fought, scared of change, but most joined the alliance. Earth's hub grew, its schools full of young humans and aliens. Ji-hoon visited them, telling stories of the first kin. "We made mistakes," she said. "But we learned. You can too." The students listened, their eyes bright. Min-soo taught them to ask questions, to think for themselves. "That's what makes us strong," he said. One night, Ji-hoon stood by the crystal again. It was quiet now, its broadcast done. She touched it, feeling its warmth. "Thank you," she whispered. The archive had saved them, but humans had saved themselves, too. She thought of Hygiene and Scylla, staring at the stars. They were the future. Ji-hoon smiled, her heart light. The galaxy was new, and humanity was its guide, not its ruler. The stars shone above, endless and bright. Earth was small, but its light reached far. Humans and aliens walked together, their steps sure. The new dawn had begun, and hope was everywhere. Hygiene and Scylla looked up, dreaming of tomorrow. The galaxy waited, and they were ready. The stars glowed brightly above the planet Vorin, a world of shining crystals and tall towers. Inside a grand hall, the Galactic Concord met. This group of alien species ruled the galaxy, and they thought they were the best. Leaders from many worlds sat around a huge table, their scales, feathers, and glowing skins sparkling under the light. They talked about their great cities, their fast ships, and their strong armies. When someone mentioned humans, the room laughed. Humans lived on a small, dusty planet called Earth. They had no starships, no energy shields, just simple machines. The aliens called them primitive, like bugs crawling in the dirt. Among the leaders was Krell, a Varinian with sharp claws and eyes like blue fire. He stood tall, his voice booming. "Humans are nothing," he said. "They play with toys while we rule the stars." The others nodded, their laughter echoing. But then, a young Varinian named Scylla raised a hand. "We found something strange," he said. "A signal from Earth. It's old, very old, and complicated." The room went quiet. "A signal? From humans? Impossible." Krell frowned. "It must be a mistake," he said. "Or maybe an old machine from a real elder race." The Concord agreed. They would send a team to Earth to check. Krell picked Scylla to lead it. "Find the truth," Krell ordered. "And don't waste time on those apes." Far away, on Earth, a woman named Ji-hoon worked in a quiet lab. She was a scientist, always curious, always digging for answers. Her dark hair was tied back, and her eyes were sharp as she studied maps of the desert. For years, she had chased stories of hidden ruins, places older than any city. One day, her team found something, a massive door under the sand, carved with strange symbols. It wasn't human, not from any known time. Ji-hoon's heart raced. This could change everything, she whispered to her friend Tae-soo, a strong man with a kind smile. They set up camp, their small team working late into the night. Machines hummed, scanning the door. It was no ordinary ruin. It pulsed with energy, faint but alive. Ji-hoon stayed up, her laptop glowing in the dark tent. She typed notes, her fingers shaking. The symbols looked like a language, but not one she knew. Tae-soo brought her tea. "You need sleep," he said. She shook her head. "This is bigger than us, Tae-soo. I can feel it." He nodded, trusting her. Outside, the desert was silent, stars twinkling above. But high in the sky, invisible to human eyes, a Varinian ship hovered. Scylla watched Earth through a screen, his claws tapping. The signal came from the desert, strong and clear. "It's not human," he said to his team. "They're too simple." His second in command, a Varinian named Lyra, tilted her head. "Then what is it?" she asked. Scylla didn't know. "We'll find out," he said. prepare to land. The Varinians were careful. Their ship was cloaked, hidden from human eyes. They scanned Earth, listening to radio chatter. They heard human voices. Songs, news, silly talks. Scylla sneered. They're like children, he said. Lyra wasn't so sure. Children don't make signals like that, she muttered. Scylla ignored her. He focused on the desert, where Jiun's camp glowed faintly. The signal was there, under the sand. We go tonight, Scylla said. His team prepared, their sleek suits shimmering. They thought this would be easy. Humans were weak, slow, nothing to fear. On Earth, Jiun's team made a breakthrough. One of their machines beeped loudly, and the ancient door began to hum. Dust fell as it shifted, revealing a tunnel. Jiun grabbed a flashlight, her eyes wide. We're going in, she said. Tae-Soo hesitated. It could be dangerous, he warned. She smiled. That's why it's fun. They entered, their boots echoing in the dark. The walls were smooth, covered in more symbols. At the end of the tunnel was a chamber, huge and round. In the center stood a crystal, glowing softly. It hummed, the sound matching the signal the Varinians had heard. Jiun touched it, and her mind filled with images, stars, planets, faces she didn't know. She gasped. This isn't just old, she said. It's alive. Above, the Varinians landed silently. Scylla led his team through the desert, their steps light. They saw the camp, the tents, the machines. Pathetic, Scylla whispered. He signaled his team to move. They crept toward the tunnel, expecting to find a forgotten machine. Instead, they heard voices, Jiun and Tae-Soo, talking excitedly. Scylla froze. Humans? Here? He gripped his weapon, a sleek device that could burn through steel. Stay sharp, he told Lyra. They entered the tunnel, their blue eyes glowing in the dark. Jiun was still at the crystal when she heard a noise. She turned, her flashlight catching a glint of metal. Tae-Soo, she whispered. He was beside her, tense. That's not us, he said. Before they could move, Scylla stepped into the chamber, his team behind him. Their suits shimmered, their weapons raised. Jiun's heart pounded, but she stood tall. Who are you? She asked, her voice steady. Scylla tilted his head, surprised. A human, speaking to him? You don't belong here, he said, his voice cold. This is ours. Jiun frowned. Yours? This is Earth. Scylla laughed, a sharp sound. Earth is nothing. You are nothing. He stepped closer, his claws gleaming. Tae-Soo moved in front of Jiun, his fists clenched. Back off, he said. Scylla's eyes narrowed. He raised his weapon, but Jiun was faster. She grabbed a tool from her belt, a small scanner, and threw it. It hit Scylla's hand, making him drop the weapon. Tae-Soo tackled another Varinian, his strength surprising them. The chamber erupted in chaos, humans and aliens clashing. Jiun ducked, grabbing the crystal. It pulsed, and a loud hum filled the air. The Varinians froze, their suits sparking. Fall back! Scylla shouted. They ran, confused and shaken. Jiun and Tae-Soo stood in the chamber, breathing hard. The crystal still glowed, its hum fading. What was that? Tae-Soo asked. Jiun shook her head, her mind racing. Those weren't humans. They were aliens. She looked at the crystal. This is bigger than we thought, she said. Outside, Scylla's team reached their ship. He was angry, his pride hurt. Humans did this, he growled. Lyra looked back at the desert. They're not what we thought, she said. Scylla didn't answer. He sent a message to Krell, the signal is real. The humans are involved. We need more ships. Back in the chamber, Jiun studied the crystal. It showed her more images, galaxies, ships, and humans, ancient and powerful. Her eyes widened. Tae-Soo, she said, I think we're not just humans. He looked at her, confused. She smiled, a spark in her eyes. We might be the ones who started it all. The crystal hummed again, its light growing. Above, the stars watched, and the galaxy waited for what came next. The desert night was cold, the stars bright above Earth. Deep underground, Ji-un stood in a glowing chamber. The crystal in the center hummed, its light soft but alive. She ran her fingers over its surface, her dark eyes wide. Strange images filled her mind, stars, ships, and people who looked human but felt ancient. Her friend Tae-soo watched, holding a flashlight. This thing is weird, he said, his voice low. Ji-un nodded. It's more than weird. It's old. Really old. Their small team worked around them, setting up machines to study the crystal. They didn't know a Varinian ship hovered above, cloaked and silent. Scylla, the Varinian leader, stared at a screen on his ship. His blue eyes glowed, his claws tapping. The signal came from this desert, strong and strange. He didn't believe humans made it. Humans were weak, their planet a speck in the galaxy. His team, dressed in shimmering suits, prepared to move. Lyra, his second in command, checked her weapon. What if the humans are there? She asked. Scylla laughed. They'll run or die, he said. They're nothing. Lyra wasn't sure, but she followed orders. The Varinians slipped into the desert, their steps silent, their suits hiding them from human eyes. Ji-un's team was busy. A young man named Dong-hyun typed on a laptop, his screen showing data from the crystal. It's like a computer, he said. But way older than ours. Ji-un leaned over his shoulder. Can you read it? She asked. Dong-hyun shook his head. Not yet, but it's talking about something called the first kin. Ji-un frowned. The name felt important, like a puzzle piece she couldn't place. Tae-soo paced, his strong frame tense. We need to be careful, he said. This place feels alive. Ji-un smiled. That's why we're here. Outside, the Varinians reached the camp. Tents glowed faintly, machines humming. Scylla sneered. This is their best, he whispered. He signaled his team to move. They crept toward the tunnel leading to the chamber, their weapons ready. Scylla's device showed the signal was close, stronger than ever. It's down there, he said. Lyra nodded, her eyes scanning the dark. They entered the tunnel, their suits glowing faintly. The air was cool, the walls smooth with strange symbols. Scylla felt a chill. This wasn't human work. It couldn't be. In the chamber, Ji-un's machine beeped. She checked it, her heart racing. It's decoding, she said. The screen showed words, first kin, creators of the stars. Ji-un froze. Creators, she whispered. Before she could think, Tae-soo grabbed her arm. Listen, he said. A faint sound came from the tunnel, soft steps, like whispers on stone. Dong-hyun looked up, nervous. Is that us? He asked. Ji-un shook her head. Stay quiet, she said. She grabbed a heavy wrench, her hands steady. Tae-soo picked up a metal pole, his eyes sharp. Scylla stepped into the chamber, his team behind him. Their suits shimmered, their weapons glowing. Ji-un's flashlight caught their blue eyes, and she gasped. They weren't human. Scylla stared at her, surprised. Humans? Here? You don't belong here, he said, his voice cold. Ji-un stood tall. This is our planet, she said. Scylla laughed, raising his weapon. Your planet is nothing. Tae-soo stepped forward, his pole raised. Back off, he growled. Scylla's eyes narrowed. He didn't expect humans to talk back. The chamber exploded into chaos. Scylla fired, a beam of light missing Ji-un by inches. She ducked, throwing the wrench. It hit Scylla's arm, making him stumble. Tae-soo swung his pole, knocking a Varinian to the ground. Dong-hyun grabbed a machine and threw it, sparks flying. The Varinians were fast, their suits strong, but the humans were fierce. Ji-hoon ran to the crystal, her hands shaking. It hummed louder, its light pulsing. She touched it, and a shock ran through her. The crystal glowed bright, and a loud sound filled the air. The Varinians' suits sparked, their weapons failing. "What is this?" Lyra shouted. Scylla clutched his arm, angry. "Fall back," he yelled. His team ran, their steps heavy. They weren't ready for this. Humans weren't supposed to fight like that. Ji-hoon and Tae-soo stood, breathing hard. Dong-hyun picked up his laptop, his hands shaking. "What just happened?" he asked. Ji-hoon looked at the crystal, still glowing. "I don't know," she said. "But they're not from here." Tae-soo wiped sweat from his face. "They'll be back," he said. Ji-hoon nodded. "Then we need answers." She sat at the laptop, the decoded data glowing. More words appeared. "First kin, the seed of the galaxy." Ji-hoon's eyes widened. "Tae-soo, this says we, humans, might be the first kin." He frowned. "What does that mean?" he asked. She shook her head. "I think it means we're older than they think. Much older." The crystal hummed, as if agreeing. Ji-hoon felt a spark of hope. If this was true, humans weren't just survivors. They were something more. High above, Scylla's ship sped away. He sat in the dark, his claws digging into his seat. "Humans did this," he growled. Lyra stood nearby, her face thoughtful. "They're not what we thought," she said. Scylla ignored her. He sent a message to the Galactic Concord, his voice sharp. "The signal is real. The humans are involved. They fought us." On Vorin, Krell read the message, his eyes narrowing. "Fought you?" he said. "Impossible." The other leaders laughed, but it was nervous laughter. Humans were supposed to be weak. Why were they at the signal source? Krell stood, his claws clicking. "Send more ships," he ordered. "Find out what they're hiding." The Concord agreed, but some leaders whispered. What if the signal wasn't a mistake? What if humans weren't primitive? Krell pushed the thought away. "They're nothing," he said. But deep down, he wasn't sure. The signal was too strong, too old. It didn't fit. Back in the chamber, Ji-hoon worked fast. The crystal's data flowed, telling a story of a time before the stars. Humans, or something like them, had built this place. They had traveled the galaxy, then vanished. Why did they leave? Ji-hoon wondered. The desert sky was dark, stars twinkling above Earth. Deep in the underground chamber, Ji-hoon stood by the glowing crystal. Its hum filled the air, steady and strong. Her team worked fast, their machines buzzing. Tae-soo guarded the tunnel entrance, his eyes sharp. Dong-hyun typed on a laptop, decoding the crystal's secrets. The words "first kin" glowed on the screen, hinting at a truth bigger than they could imagine. Ji-hoon's heart raced. "This changes everything," she whispered. She didn't know that far above, a Galactic Concord task force was coming. On Vorin, the Concord leaders were angry. Krell, the tall Varinian, slammed his claw on the table. "Humans fought our team," he shouted. The other aliens, scaled, feathered, glowing, whispered nervously. Humans were supposed to be weak, not fighters. Scylla, back from Earth, stood quietly. His arm still hurt from Ji-hoon's wrench. "The signal is real," he said. "It's from their desert." The leaders didn't want to believe it. "It's not them," Krell said. "It's an old machine." But doubt grew. They sent a task force, 10 ships, packed with weapons, to Earth. "Find the signal," Krell ordered. "Crush the humans if they resist." The ships moved fast, cloaked in darkness. They carried soldiers from many species, led by a Varinian named Varn. His eyes glowed red, his claws sharp. "Humans are nothing," he told his team. "We'll take what's ours." His second, a winged alien named Terra, nodded but felt uneasy. The signal was too strange, too old. What if the humans weren't what they seemed? Varn didn't care. He wanted the mission done. On Earth, Ji-Yoon's team made a breakthrough. The crystal pulsed, and a panel on the wall lit up. Ji-Yoon touched it, and the chamber shook. Lights flashed, and a deep voice spoke in a language she didn't know. Donghyun's laptop translated, *archive activated. First kin, welcome, Ji-Yoon's eyes widened. Archive, she said. The crystal projected images, stars, planets, and humans, ancient and wise, building worlds. The data said they seeded the galaxy, then hit on Earth. We're the first kin, Ji-Yoon said, her voice shaking. Tae-soo frowned. Us? How? She didn't know, but the truth felt heavy. The chamber hummed louder. Machines rose from the floor, glowing with strange power. One looked like a weapon, its metal sleek. Another was a shield, shimmering blue. Ji-Yoon's team stared, amazed. A woman named Soo-jin, strong and smart, stepped forward. She was a soldier before becoming a scientist. We can use this, she said. She touched the weapon, and it hummed in her hand. If those aliens come back, we'll be ready. Ji-Yoon nodded. We have to protect this place. High above, the Concorde ships arrived. They uncloaked, their lights bright in the night sky. Varn's voice boomed through a speaker. Humans, surrender. Give us the signal source. In the chamber, Ji-Yoon's team heard it. Tae-soo gripped his pole. They're here, he said. Soo-jin picked up the archive's weapon, her face calm. Let's show them who we are. Ji-Yoon worked fast, linking the crystal to her laptop. She found a command, broadcast. She didn't know what it meant, but she pressed it. The crystal glowed bright, and a signal shot into space, strong and clear. Outside, the aliens landed. Varn led his soldiers, tall Varinians, winged flyers, and armored crawlers. They stormed the camp, tearing through tents. Ji-Yoon's team was ready. Soo-jin stood at the tunnel entrance, the archive's weapon in her hands. Stay back, she shouted. Varn laughed, his claws gleaming. You can't stop us, he said. He fired a beam, but Soo-jin raised the archive's shield. It sparked, blocking the attack. She fired back, a blue bolt hitting Varn's armor. He stumbled, shocked. What is that? He yelled. The fight was fierce. Tae-soo swung his pole, knocking a crawler down. Donghyun used a small archive device, sending sparks to confuse the flyers. Soo-jin moved like a storm, her weapon firing fast. The aliens were strong, but the archive's technology was stronger. Varn's team fell back, their armor cracked. This isn't possible. Varn shouted. Tira grabbed his arm. Their weapons, they're ancient. Varn didn't want to hear it. He called for more soldiers, but the humans kept fighting. In the chamber, Ji-Yoon watched the crystal. The broadcast was working. It sent images of the first kin humans across the galaxy. Words followed, we seeded the stars. We are the first kin. Ji-Yoon's laptop showed the signal reaching alien worlds. She smiled. They'll know now, she said. The crystal hummed, its light warm. Ji-Yoon felt it, like a voice saying she was part of something big.